Welcome to Canadian Coffee House Crime. My name is Catherine, and today our case is starting us off in Calgary, Alberta. And then we're going to go hang out in Las Vegas, Nevada in the U.S., and then we're going to end up at Hope, BC. Calgary is close to the U.S. border, has a population of 1.3 million people. It's famous for the Calgary Stampede, the Calgary Zoo, its Calgary Flames with their saddle-shaped dome, and the Calgary's CFL team called, you guessed it, the Stampeders. Dwayne Johnson was recruited by the Calgary Stampeders out of high school from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania in 1995. He was cut after only 2 months, although because of this he gave up his football career. With $7 in his pocket, he turned to wrestling and became The Rock. Las Vegas, Nevada, that houses 3 million people, is a city in the middle of the desert powered by the Hoover Dam, known for its lights, its massive gambling hotels, its shady history, women, and nightlife, and is number 3 on the top 10 of entertaining cities in the world. Hope, BC is about an hour's drive to the U.S. border straight south and about an hour's drive to the ocean on the west coast. 6,000 people call it home, and it is nestled in the Fraser Valley. It is a spot tourists spend hiking and sightseeing the Rocky Mountains. It is a quiet vacation spot. Dan Jenkins, an internationally known architect, along with his wife Nada, were living in Calgary at the time discussing what to do with their son named Ryan Alexander Jenkins, who was born February 8, 1977. He was attending Western Canada High School in Calgary when he had fallen into a bad crowd. They were good parents. As a child, he had everything. He had quite the lifestyle. He had a lot of good friends. But in the end, his parents decided to send their son Ryan to a boarding school in Victoria, BC. He got himself together, and in 2001, he was 24 years old and held the position of president of the company called Townscape Developments Incorporated, where he was working with his father developing high-end condominiums in Calgary. As a developer and a realtor, he had very good taste. He was a very good dresser. He was a wonderful guy, very easygoing and happy. His condos were very contemporary and very classy chic. He had a lot of wealthy friends. A lot of them were into the oil and gas business or into real estate, and they used to go bar hopping in limos together, as they would all go quarters to pay for the limo. Ryan enjoyed the high life in Calgary's back of the day, hitting up all the best clubs with his buddies. Ryan had expensive taste and liked expensive women. In 2007, when Ryan was 32 years old while working as a sales consultant for a Calgary-based real estate firm, a reality TV show called Megan Wants a Millionaire on the TV channel called VH1 was advertising at casting parties and on the radio that they were looking for millionaires to be on their show to compete for a trophy wife. The contestants had to have a $1 million net worth and a criminal search conducted by a company called Collective Intelligence, owned by Erica Worth, since 2001. The company had done about 500,000 criminal checks for various companies and had never had a problem. They were considered to be very reliable. Ryan stated that he was worth $2.5 million to the show and passed his criminal check, so he was accepted. He had a cocky charm about him. His catchphrase was a little bit of Prince Charming, a little bit of bad boy. He thought he was a prince and wanted to be a star. Megan from the show has reported that she actually liked Ryan very much, and on the side after the show, they were calling each other. Megan hoped she could pick him because apparently he was very sweet to her, but unfortunately the audience and the TV station picked someone else. They were both upset about this, actually, and because of this desperation to marry a trophy wife, he went on a rebound and moved to Las Vegas after filming and married the first trophy wife he could find that he met at a casino. Ryan came back to Calgary after his leave of absence from his company and told everyone he was married, but just not to Megan. On Sunday, August 15th, 2009, at 7 a.m., police were called to the Orange County in Buena Park, California. A bottle collector was digging in a dumpster and he came across a suitcase. Inside the suitcase was a crushed, badly beaten, naked woman. The woman had no identification, no fingers, and no teeth. She was taken to the coroner's office where it was determined that she had a broken nose and had been strangled. Her teeth and fingers were removed before being stuffed into the suitcase. Miraculously, she was identified, but only by the serial numbers on her breast implants. Her name was Jasmine Fiore, Ryan Alexander Jenkins's wife. Jasmine Lepore was born February 18, 1981, in Santa Cruz, California. At the time of her death, on August 15, 2009, she was 28 years old. Jasmine had never talked about her father, and she was the only child to Lisa Lepore. She went to high school in Santa Cruz, but not go to college, was said to be a wholesome young lady, very sincere, and she had eyes that would change from blue to green. People were drawn to her, and she found that she had a knack for attracting men. She was engaged several times. Ryan was actually her second husband. She always kept in contact with her exes and kept them as friends throughout the years. She changed her last name from Lepore to Fiore. She liked the name as it was Italian for flower. She had an appetite for rich men. During a Hawaiian tropic party in Las Vegas, Ryan and Jasmine met. They were married 2 days after meeting at the Little White Wedding Chapel in Las Vegas on March 18th, 2009. Here's a list of other celebrities who have been married there also. It started off okay. Ryan had gone to South Carolina with Jasmine for a funeral for a family member, and he had taken her up to Calgary and took her to Banff. They did a little camping and did a very good job of showing her off to his friends at their favorite bar called The Living Room in Calgary. They started complaining about each other to their friends. Ryan said that he was feeling used, lied to, and humiliated. His friends said that she was demanding and manipulative. They said he was infatuated with her, but her demands for money were too important to her. She said that he was too controlling and that he didn't have the means to support her lifestyle. And he hated the fact that she kept in touch with her ex-boyfriends and husbands, even going to Mexico for a vacation with one of her exes while she was still married to Ryan. They fought frequently when they would spend their time in their penthouse in California in the Fairfax district. Sometimes she would disappear for days and would lie to him about her whereabouts. Her mother said that the marriage had been annulled in May 2009, but no record of that. Ryan was accepted to be a contestant for the show I Love Money 3, which he had to go to Mexico to film. It was reported by the set crew that while in Mexico, he would call her constantly. They said he was obsessed with her. He was very jealous and always very suspicious and always asking what she was doing in Las Vegas while he was in Mexico. He kept saying that he wanted to win the $250,000 so he could give her the life that she wanted. Ryan actually won that show. That show filmed June 2009 to August 2009. When he was finished filming I Love Money 3, he went back to Las Vegas to spend some time with Jasmine. They were at a party when he saw her kissing another man. He got extremely upset about this and threw her into a pool, and she charged him with battery constituting domestic violence. After the charge, Ryan decided to go back to Calgary, and his friends were surprised to see him without her. He hit up the bar saying that he had an open relationship and was getting a bunch of phone numbers from girls at the Living Room Club, but he didn't seem happy about it though. In August 2009, Ryan returned to his Los Angeles penthouse in California where he met up with Jasmine. On August 13, Jasmine and Ryan were staying at the L'Auberge Hotel in Del Mar, San Diego. Jasmine had texted her ex-husband at the time, "I want to see you." They attended a poker tournament at the Karma Foundation for Charity at the Del Mar Hinton Hotel. They were playing with a group of friends, and Jasmine was being very rude and kept putting Ryan down. It was reported that it was really awkward and she kept cutting him down with her sarcasm. He was getting very angry at her and a fight broke out at 1:30 a.m. They went to their room to keep fighting. At 2:30 a.m. they were seen leaving the hotel and they went to the Ivy Hotel, which is a nightclub downtown, until 4:30 a.m. Ryan returned to his hotel alone and Jasmine was never seen again. On August 14, the next morning, Ryan left the L'Auberge Hotel at 9 a.m. On August 15 at 7 a.m., Jasmine's body was discovered at 8:55 p.m. Ryan reported her missing, stating the last time he saw her was 8:30 p.m. August 14 at their home on Edinburgh Avenue in Los Angeles. They had returned home from the poker tournament. She dropped him off. She left to do some errands and never came back. On August 16 at 9 a.m., Ryan packed a suitcase and was seen leaving his condo. He took his BMW truck from LA, he went to Nevada, and he picked up his boat trailer with his speedboat that he had called Night Ride Her. Anyways, he started heading towards the Canadian border and he found himself to Washington. He parked the truck and his trailer at a marina in Blaine, Washington, and took his boat on the waters south of Point Roberts, Washington, where his stepmother lives. He was able to elude police that were kind of in a boat chase after him. He parked his speedboat about 10 miles away from his truck and walked across the border to Canada. On August 17, police had contacted Ryan. He said he was in Utah and he was headed to Canada to resolve immigration issues. Around this time, after Jasmine's death, Jasmine's ex-husband received a text saying, "Suck it." On August 18th, Jasmine's body was ID'd as she had 2 breast augmentations and police used serial numbers off these implants to identify her through a database. Ryan was put at the top of the list as the main suspect. Her white Mercedes was found in a West End parking lot of a bank next to Trader Joe's, about a mile away from their condo in LA. There was a lot of blood splatter, enough blood to leave swirl marks and imprints of her arms and hands that were found on the windshield passenger seat and the back seat. She had fought back hard, but there was not enough blood to have the indication of her fingers and teeth removed. The vehicle also had large twigs and brush in the undercarriage, and police thought that he took the car off-roading to dispose of her teeth, fingers, and clothes. These items have never been found. The police found a lot of blood on the patio of the condo and evidence of hair being pulled. On August 19th, Ryan's father told him Jasmine's body had been found murdered. On August 20, a warrant was issued for Ryan's arrest for Jasmine's murder, and Canadian authorities were alerted to be on the lookout for Ryan as a person of interest. They started monitoring the waters for Ryan. The Canadian Authority did detain a gentleman at the Peel Regional Police Department, but it was confirmed not to be Ryan. An anonymous tip about a black BMW towing a boat heading towards the Canadian-US border came into the police. They found the truck and the empty boat trailer. The truck engine was still warm. Ryan had been on the run for 5 days. Dog the Bounty Hunter actually offered his services to find Ryan. On August 20th at 6 p.m., Ryan and his stepsister Elena in her Alberta-plated silver PT Cruiser showed up at the Thunderbird Hotel in Hope, BC, 160 kilometers away from Point Roberts, Washington. Elena paid for 3 nights, made small talk with the manager. She spent 20 minutes in room 2 with Ryan and left. On August 21st, the manager of the hotel, who thought it was weird that they parked beside a dumpster instead of in front of one of the hotel rooms, saw Ryan outside of his hotel room, but he did not recognize him from the TV because he was very disheveled and was very thin-looking and worn out. After a couple of days of seeing no activity from the hotel room, on August 23rd at 11:30 in the morning, the manager and his nephew checked room 2 and found Ryan Jenkins. He had hung himself on a coat rack with his feet still touching the ground. There was no suicide note. The police later found on his computer called Last Will and Testament that was dated August 20th, 2009. It was 1 page long. Half the letter described how much he loved Jasmine, but how much he had been frustrated and jealous of all her friendships. Police interviewed his friends and they stated that he was charming but insecure. He was always eager to please his male buddies, and when girlfriends failed to do as he asked, he would throw a temper tantrum. One lady had called him a creepazoid, as she always been cornered by him and he's always trying to kiss her. He had a feminine voice. He always had a big fake smile. He always seemed to be scared and intimidated and was known to be into kinky sex. At one point, he proposed to a stripper, and at one point he was engaged to a Toronto woman that he had a real connection with, but it did not work out. Until it was found out that Elena drove Ryan to the hotel, it was believed that this woman had driven him to the hotel. In 2007, he did 15 months for probation for assaulting a girlfriend. Collective Intelligence was immediately scrutinized about the fact that Ryan's assault conviction was not picked up on his criminal check. They stated that criminal checks only search the US, not different countries, which has been rectified. Collective Intelligence went pretty much bankrupt because of this. Friends also believed that he was not worth $2.5 million and that he was relying on his parents a lot for money and his status. It was noted when he was filming Megan Wants a Millionaire that he wore fake Rolex watches on the show, and he only brought one pair of pants for the whole 5 weeks of shooting. Megan Wants a Millionaire was canceled after Ryan was announced as a fleeing suspect, and I Love Money 3 was canceled 2 days after Ryan was found deceased. Jasmine was buried in South Carolina at the Lebanon Methodist Church Cemetery. Ryan was cremated. His mother still believes in his innocence. Thank you so much for watching Canadian Coffee House Crime. My name is Catherine, and I'll see you in the next video.
And I love my wife.